It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. I'll be your host today. If you want to follow the news articles as we review them today, just go over to Facebook, search for Tech for Senior, and follow along with the news articles. And if you want to send us a news article that you've seen this week, send it to techforseniorinfo@gmail.com, and we'll put it on the list and review it. All right, let's get started with the show. Well, this is Tech for Senior Live. I'm Ron Brown, and I'll be your host today. This is February the 8th, 2024, of course, and it is a cold day in Comox. It froze last night. Hopefully, my upcoming tulips will not get nipped there. Anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome here, and hopefully our intro music got everyone awake, and you've got your coffee, and we're going to have a great show for you today. You're probably wondering, some of you wondering, where the heck did these four people come from? Well, we came from Tech for Senior, our Monday show, where about, I guess, 5 years now, UEA, 5 years ago, we started Tech for Senior, and it's now, we had the 200th episode last week, which was sort of an exciting milestone in our career, so to speak, eh?
Yes.
And well done on the Huey MC that last week, and it was a great show. If you haven't seen that show, you can pop back and look at it. Of course, we have that all on our YouTube channel. So that show, though, on Monday is a Zoom meeting. And so we have a great time. And if you haven't come to the show and you haven't watched, please do so. It's every Monday. And the details, I'll just set this up here. So the details are here, and this is our website, and you can go there and you can find out all the details on how to join the Zoom meeting. And we do have a lot of fun. But this is not a Zoom meeting today. This is broadcast out on a program called StreamYard, and we stream this out to, of course, our Facebook page and YouTube. So if you are over on our Zoom meeting and you're expecting us to be there, we'll see you Monday. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So the other thing that's different about this show is in Monday, we can see everybody because it's a Zoom meeting, so we can talk and chat and we see everybody. It's like we're all having a big meeting. This, we have no idea who's out there. We don't know who you are. So if you would like to put something in the chat, let us know what the weather is, any comments, questions, that would be great. We certainly would like to acknowledge new people. So if you are new to listening to this, is the first time you've been to the show, and we get a few people coming. It's really interesting. We got people all over the world listening to the show now. So we're really excited. It really pumps us up. So if you are a new person, let us know where you're from and how you found out about the show. Just put it in the chat and we'll let you know. So we have a great show for you today. And we have, of course, our amazing group of experts today, which I'm going to, of course, introduce now. And let me just take this off here. First of all, we have I'm from Canada. I'm Ron Brown, and I'm on a little island off the west coast of Canada called Vancouver Island, in a little town halfway up the island, or 3/4 of the way up the island, called Comox. Now, way over in another part of the world, in a long way away, in a different country, in a warmer part of the country, of course, Huey's in Bradenton, Florida. But through the modern of technology, I don't have to yell or scream into my microphone. He can hear me. Can you hear me, Huey?
Huh?
Right.
Yeah,
So
I'm on
yeah,
a little peninsula called Florida,
yeah.
and I'm about 4 miles from the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, so that's good. Has it warmed up down there for you yet, or what? Are you still
You
complaining
know,
about
the
the
next
cold?
few days are going to be in the high 70s, where it should be this time of year, and then we're going to go back into the 60s for another week or so,
All right,
and
but so
that's
that's
too
gonna
cold for me.
a little cold, eh? All right. And of course, a man who never complains, but is in a cold area right now. It's Bob Gostisha from Los Lunas, New Mexico. Bob, of course, is our security expert. He's been on the show since we started it. He keeps the bad guys away and the good guys in. So, Bob, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Another lovely day in Las Lunas, or actually Meadow Lake. And
So,
we are almost now at 40, so we're making progress.
so any snow on the ground, or is it?
No, 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 no. Up
No.
in the mountains, yes.
Okay.
Where I am, nope. I don't really want any. I
All
don't
right.
have a snow blower.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And then, of course, for the man who never complains, because his wife tells me that he's the nicest person she's ever met, Carol. And this is our music director on our Monday show, who is in snowy Pine, Arizona right now. He's telling me that the snow is coming down all day. Ray, are you there?
I'm here, yes, and you mentioned I never complain, and I try not to because nobody listens.
We do. We take all your complaints with great heart, don't we, Huey? We always listen to you. Not
Okay.
much we can do about it, but we listen passionately.
Yeah, it's been snowing on and off for almost more than a day, and but the accumulation isn't really that high because the temperature's hovering about 32, 33, 35 degrees. At night it got colder, but in the daytime it'll be over probably 40. So it's melting almost as fast as it's coming down, which is good because I'm expecting company on Sunday, and hopefully the streets in my driveway, more importantly, will be clear.
That's right. Yeah. How's snow removal up in Pine? Do you have
The county is great. They
Is it?
within since I've lived here for 20 years, within few hours after the snow stops, the plows come through and plow the roads. I've not convinced them yet, though, that they should do my driveway as well.
Usually with us, they push it up and make a big ridge around the driveway, and you have to go out and clean that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So let's see who's listening. Huey, anyone listening to us today?
Yeah, we got a few out there. Somebody by the name of Norbert Gustia.
Who is Norbert? Who is
I
Norbert?
don't know.
Gustia?
Anyway, he's saying good morning.
Okay. Mike Lehman from Moncton, New Brunswick. Oh, did you guys get all the snow? Like the East Coast got a huge dump of snow in Canada. They were digging out forever. I wonder if that was, I can't remember if that's around Moncton. Mike, let me know if you got that big dump of snow. Steve, Kirkland, Washington, 41 degrees and overcast. Ed Weiss from sunny in central New Jersey. Gerald Smith, West Seattle, 38 degrees and cloudy. Murray Strom from Victoria, BC, on this little tiny island off the west coast of Canada, where it is cloudy and about 40 degrees Fahrenheit with rain in the forecast. Gee, it's a sunny morning here, Murray. It froze last night, but it's beautiful. There's not a cloud in the sky. Hopefully, we'll send you some sun down there in the bottom end of the island. Liz from Ohio, 53 degrees and partly sunny. Jim Ham, Scottsdale, Arizona. Hey, 52 degrees and cloudy. Coming back to Scottsdale, is this the Waste Management Open this weekend? Because we always used to have that on Super Bowl day.
I believe so, and I believe they've actually moved it to still coincide with Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, so the Waste Management's on this weekend. Oh,
yeah. I don't know if it's still called that, but there is a big golf tournament going on Sunday.
Okay, that'll be a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Jeff, 52 degrees in sunny Southern California. Laura.
I think Laura is new.
Are you new in Southern California and it's not raining this morning? Let's give her a big round of applause in case she hasn't. Laura, if you've been on the show before, we do apologize for not recognizing you, but we're seniors, right? We sometimes forget, but I don't think so. Maybe it's your first time here. Anyway, welcome. Stu from Stu's in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is cold and windy. What's Stu? He must be
out there on a vacation.
Must be on vacation. Well, on vacation, listening to Tech for Senior Live. That's good. Well done, Stu. Dick, 140 miles northeast of Huey in Sanford, Florida. Mike Lehman, that was Nova Scotia. We only got a couple of inches. Cape Breton got 90 centimeters. Oh my God, they got hammered. They just got, they got so much snow there. People are coming from all over to help them. Sally Ann, Kirkland, Washington, good day to all. Already have good TV to watch Super Bowl. Laura, I'm new, so we were right. Hey, we got it right, you guys. Thanks, Laura, for coming. Thanks a lot.
The old noggin's still working.
Yeah, we're not too far out on that. Thanks a lot for coming and listening. Bob Baxter from Bellevue, Washington, 44 degrees Fahrenheit with clouds. Vale Williams. Vale, great. It's nice to hear from you again. Vale, of course, was part of our computer club in Mesa at Silver Ridge Resort. Vale and I spent many hours helping people in fixing computers. It was a great time. And Vale was the smart one. I just did what he told me. Hello from Golden, 43 degrees Fahrenheit, expecting snow tonight. Edie Taylor Richards, Prescott, Arizona, more snow today. Yes. Laura, thanks, Laura. That's great. Well, of course, the news of the week is Super Bowl Sunday, right? And if you want to purchase a TV, this is the week to purchase a TV. And I was listening to Scott Wilkinson this morning on the
Leo Laporte
show, and he was talking about the fact that if you want to buy a TV in the whole year, this is the week you want to do it in, because all the sales are on now. This is when most of the TVs are sold in the week before, and they're mostly 2023 models, because 2024 models will all be, in the next couple of months coming out. So this is the time of year to buy a new TV. And I was telling Huey earlier today, I was in Costco on Tuesday, and they had a 70-inch TCL TV, 4K TV on for 70-inch for $9.99 Canadian, which probably is $500 US, right? It's like cheap. It's like, you got to be kidding. That's insane. So I thought a good topic to talk about this morning was an article that came out on what are the 7 things you should consider. Let me just get the article here. If you're going to purchase a new TV, and I thought it might be a good idea, just if you're thinking about doing this, this may be a good thing to think about. So now we were talking about this before. Let's just go over. So we're going to go over the 7 items, and then the second one I want to talk about.
We're not seeing it, Ron.
Yeah, we're not seeing it. It came up for a second and then went away.
I'll bring it up. And the second thing I want to talk about is Outlook, the new Outlook app, and then we'll get into the news. So we're going to do these 2 things before we do the news. All right. So the first one was when you purchase a TV, catch up apps. When you're spending thousands on a new TV, you should expect it to come with basic apps, but that's not always the case. So part of the thing that you need to do is, if you do purchase a new TV, is make sure you update the apps on the TV. Most of your TVs have inherent apps, although we've talked about this before, but a lot of these TVs, like on all the TCLs, they have the Roku device embedded in them, which Roku does a much better job on updating the apps and keeping things organized. But your TV, your basic TV, has apps in it, and those need to be updated. A lot of people don't know that, do you ever, I guess you guys all have streaming. You've got Roku devices, or what do you use the apps on your TV? Huey, what do you?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, on a regular basis, I go in and just make sure that they're up to date. But the TV, I've got see, the one in the living room is a Toshiba, and it's got built-in Fire TV, and
Right.
I go in and make sure that that the apps get updated.
Right. Bob, do you have a Roku, or what do you have in your TV?
I use a streaming device from Google,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
and I have YouTube TV.
Yeah. Okay. And Ray,
And
what,
TV.
any apps that do you check those?
Yeah, I have several apps. Again, I have the 55-inch TCL that comes with Roku. I
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
Fire Stick on one of the
Yeah.
upstairs TVs. So you're right. They come with a few, but you should actually download the other apps. I had a friend over who's not really tech savvy a couple of months ago, and I'm showing him YouTube on my television, and he couldn't believe. He goes, "I didn't know you can get YouTube on your
Yeah,
television."
that's right. That's right.
It's called an app.
That's right. And the thing about it is, if you buy a TV that doesn't come with like our TCLs that have the Roku in it, then the apps are inherent on the TV. And then you want to make sure that whatever company that you bought the TV from, you update those apps. Okay.
And you can go out and find other apps that aren't on there and add them to the ones that they have.
And a good example is, like Ray said, YouTube TV. We're not YouTube TV, just YouTube.
Mhm.
And of course, in Canada, we don't have YouTube TV, but I use YouTube all the time on all my TVs. And I watch more YouTube than cable. In fact, I think I'm going to ditch cable. My contract's coming up in a couple of months, and I just really think that's it for cable TV, because I don't need it. Now, the other thing that you need to think about is the width of the TV and the stand that you're going to put it on. There's no point in buying a TV that won't fit. And we talked about this before. I think Bob said it fits in a cabinet, and he can't get more than a 65-inch TV in there. So there'd be no point in buying a 70-inch. But the same thing with where these feet sit. Now, it's interesting. Maybe everyone can let us know, put it in the chat and let us know. All my TVs are hung. They're all on mounting brackets on the wall. I don't have any sitting on stands. Do you guys, Huey, yours sits on a stand, doesn't it?
Yeah, mine sits on a bookcase.
Yeah.
And then I have hung right behind it on the wall are two strips that I can plug in the different pieces and parts that I have associated with it. And then I also have one of the Wemo plugs there, because every once in a while I like to restart my TV by telling it to shut down the power. So it totally shuts it down, and I tell it to turn it back on, and then I turn the TV on and it starts up again, reboots itself.
Bob, you're on a stand?
I'm on a stand that has the TV sitting on it and has a fireplace underneath it.
You're not. Yeah, right.
And
then Ray,
realistic, and it even gives you heat.
Yeah. Ray, what
Bedroom TV is on the wall. The TV is in a cabinet that's in my record room, and the main TV downstairs is on a table, which, talking about not fitting, I should have read this article 3 years ago, because the legs came with the TCL on the very outside,
right,
not in the middle, and not only that, they were facing outward.
Right.
And therefore they were 1 inch beyond the size of my table.
Right.
So I had to spend $50 or $60 to get another stand that would attach to, I think they call the Versa holes in the center. And that's what I have. But you're right. I did not check that out, and I should have.
So it's an important one. If you buy a 70-inch TV and you think you're going to put it on a stand, and then you've got the two end and feet sticking out, it's not going to work. So be careful of that.
The plywood on top of that, make the plywood bigger, and solve your problem.
Not exactly decorative, is it, Bob?
Tablecloth.
All right, let's see. That's it. Now the next one was soundbar. What are you going to do for the soundbar? Now, I think probably, and I'm not an expert on this, but I would think that most of the TVs probably now aren't the greatest speakers. And although my TCL actually, I find it okay, but you can you can get sound bars, and the sound bars can either clip underneath the TV onto the TV. Somehow you're going to have to mount this sound bar. So I think it's important when you think about it, think about how you're going to do that. Ray, any thoughts on that?
I don't own a sound bar. I use the 7.1 system with a receiver and the speakers and the subwoofer. That gives me the sound that I look for, particularly in action movies and things like that. But the article makes a good point about measurement, that if you're going to use a sound bar, make sure you have space for it.
Right.
Ideally, it could go just under the TV. So that's where you have to know how high the TV is and the height of your sound bar. That is good advice.
Yes. Huey, do you use a sound bar at all? Or?
I don't. I did buy one, gosh, 5-6 years ago or so. And I used it for a while, but when I got my latest TV, the TV was too low and there was no place to hang it in front of it.
Exactly. So that's exactly the issue. Yeah.
And so I use the speakers that are built into the TV on both my TVs.
Yeah. So that's a good article. You got to think about where you're going to put that sound bar.
Absolutely.
No sound bar for me.
No sound bar. Okay.
Speakers on the side, speakers in the back, subwoofer, center channel. So when I play a movie that's got surround sound, I get surrounded by sound.
Now this was now darn, I can't see the top. Can you guys see the top of the email? I can't remember what this said.
It just says dimensions.
Dimensions, right. So the other thing is
overall dimensions of the TV to make sure it's going to fit the space.
Yes. Now again, I guess, would you really want a 70-inch TV in a tiny little room? Is bigger better? Like, I'm thinking, I got to get this 70-inch TV. You got to be kidding. This is great.
That's like sitting in the very first row of a movie theater.
Oh, right.
And what you have to remember is when they say 70 inches, they mean from the top corner to the bottom corner, not across. So you got to actually physically measure it and then go to the space and measure.
Right. And the other thing that's important to understand is if you're putting these on brackets for the wall, the size of the brackets is based on how large the TV is. So if you're replacing it with a TV, you might have to change the bracket. So you got to think about that as well. They're not, the brackets come in different sizes depending on how big your TV is. So anyway, all right. So just think about that. Just don't go overboard and say, I got to get that 70-inch, because it may not just be the best situation for you.
We had a 55-inch in the living room when I bought the 65-inch. So the 55 wound up in the bedroom. It's a pretty large TV for the bedroom.
It is. Now, again, what's the top? Ray, can you see on the top there? What does it say?
Something spec. Gaming specs.
Gaming specs.
Play games on your TV.
Yeah. So if you want to play games on it, then you should look at, not all TVs are created equal. This article talks about the different ports, and I'm not going to go through all that, but just if you do decide that is a consideration, if you are going to use your TV as part of your gaming experience, you really need to pay attention with that and look at the specifications. And then sound quality. Now we were talking about this earlier, and I guess, again, I was listening to Scott Wilkinson this morning, and he said, well, it's very interesting. He said, a good point is Samsung does not support Dolby. And he said, so that may not be an issue. I mean, they have high dynamic sound, but they don't support Dolby. So big deal, right? Samsung makes a lot of TVs. But if you had a collection of older works that you like to watch, and you're really interested in the sound, and they are Dolby sound created, then it won't work on a Samsung TV. So you have to be careful with that. And I guess it depends. It all depends on how you want to set that up. And so there are some considerations there that you might want to think about.
Ron, if you have a movie that has Dolby and the TV doesn't, what happens?
Well, it plays the sound, but you're not going to get the Dolby,
Oh.
the cinematic sound, right? So
Most of the, I don't know about all movies, but many of the movies have multiple types of sound systems, not just one. They may have Dolby, they may have 2 or 3 others.
oh, okay, yeah.
Almost in every case, one of them will work with whatever TV you have.
It will. I guess you just have to think about that. If you're a movie collector, or you have a lot of specific ones you like, maybe it might be a consideration. So all I'm saying is that's maybe a consideration for the new for your new TV.
I have a lot of DVDs collecting dust.
Yeah, right.
There aren't enough hours in the day.
To be honest, Bob. So
Right.
so do I.
Yep.
So do I. But it's so much easier just to ask YouTube for the movie and to play it rather than me going and finding it. It's just easier just to do it on YouTube. Ray, any comments? Your sort of music. Any thoughts on anything about that?
Well, I've created a Plex server.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I've taken all of my movies now. Unfortunately, I lent a whole more than 100 to my daughter, and now I'm having trouble getting them back. But the other almost 400 are on the Plex server. And just like you can pull up a streaming movie in a matter of seconds, I can pick up the movie on my Plex server in a matter of seconds. And these are movies I like because I spent money on them. And the last thing I want to do in life is spend more money on a movie I own just so I can watch it. So I've solved that problem.
Solved the problem. Good. Yep. You've done a lot of good videos about that as well. You've talked a lot on the show about a Plex server, and that's a really great idea. Excellent. All right. I know there might be some questions out there. Let's hold off on those questions. I want to do that just before I want to quickly go over, and then we'll do some questions. I want to quickly go over an article that came out this week, and this is on the Microsoft. This has to do with Microsoft Outlook, and Microsoft is making the new Outlook available free of charge, regardless of the Office package. You do not need a Microsoft 365 subscription or a Microsoft Office license. It can be installed on Windows 10, Windows 11, as well as the Mac OS. Now, the second part of this was the new Outlook is thereby somewhat confusing. Although Outlook is new, it will not replace the classic Outlook from the Office package in the new future. So there is, if you do have, and we were talking about this earlier, and I think Huey looked this up on his Outlook. I think that because Huey and Ray use Outlook, I don't, and Bob doesn't. But Huey was showing on his Outlook, there's a little slider button at the top, and you can switch it over to the new or go back to the old. You can switch it back and forth. I guess they're trying to get people who don't have Office 365 subscription, don't want to pay for them, maybe a little competition to Microsoft 365, or sorry, competition to Gmail. I don't. What do you guys think about that? Any comments?
They always had a generic email package. It was called Microsoft Mail, and it was called, I forgot, it had different names along the way, and people just didn't use it a lot. Some people did, but for the most part, they used something else. So now they're going to try to make Outlook the standard.
Right.
The magic phrase in that comment you just read was in the near future. Okay, so define near.
Good point. And Ray, any thoughts on the? Any thoughts? You use Outlook all the time. You like Outlook?
A lot of thoughts. For decades, there's been what they call mail, people, and calendar. So the new Outlook is replacing those. And as Yui said, that those are pretty basic, but they got the job done. And I know when I was helping people in their home with computers, I would steer them to that if they were looking for an email program on their computer. Now, this is going to be web-based. It's not going to be on the computer. So this is very similar. If you go onto the web browser now and type the words outlook.com, you'll come up with the Microsoft Outlook on the web.
Right.
And this is going to be very similar to that.
Right.
And it's not going to have nearly all of the features that the full-blown Outlook has.
Right.
So because of that, I will not be even trying it.
You only be trying, right? But because this is free, then it's, I guess you get what you pay for, right? You're right. So, okay. Well, it's interesting. I just thought it was an interesting article. Huey, any comments before we get into the news articles?
Yeah, just a couple. Let's see. Vail.
Go 49ers. Bose soundbars are the best. I love mine. Play Pandora through it all the time.
And one final one.
And Brian says, interesting timing on TVs. I just bought a Hisense TV, 7K series, excellent picture, loaded with features: ATSC 3.0 tuner, 6E, Wi-Fi, 120 Dolby Atmos, etc. Oh my gosh. And to my surprise, the 3-speaker sounds great. I know, and we're not even going to ask you what you paid for it, right? But it's unbelievable. They had that one on for at Costco as well, and oh my gosh, what a! I just need one of those TVs, but I don't know what I'm going to do with. How you put it in the garage? I guess maybe put it in the garage. That would be.
When I bought my TV, that the 65-inch. You had a choice. You could get 60 hertz, 120 hertz. We went extra and we got the 240. And of course, we also have a picture that when I take a picture of a picture, people think I was actually there. Okay, so it makes a difference. It makes a difference. The more dots, the clearer the picture.
It does. All right, let's share my screen here and let's get on with the news articles. And let's get me a little bit bigger for you guys. And if you want to, just on the bottom here, if you want to, this is our Facebook page. If you want to follow us along on Facebook, you can actually see these articles a little bit better. No, just a minute. Hold on. How's that look? Oop, that's a bit much. How's that look for you guys?
Bring it down so we can see something.
A little better?
Yeah, did you refresh, sir?
I'll just refresh it now and just make sure. Okay, let's see who got the first. Oh, Bob got the first article. Isn't that a surprise?
This is a tutorial on phishing emails, and it was prompted by an email that I received in my inbox that was a phishing email. Google didn't catch it, so I figured, okay, let me go through it and explain it and tell you what you need to look for, what not to do, and what to do with it after you decided, hey, this should never have been in my inbox to start off with.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
And phishing is responsible for just so many people fall for them, and you just have to be very, very careful. And all of the warnings that Bob and I and Ray and Ron use and give out, all the warnings, people still are. It's just too tempting sometimes.
Phishing is the blatant malware in 2024. It also was in 2023 and will be in 2025.
Yep.
Ray, Microsoft's new OneDrive design starts rolling out. Oh, they're really getting into they're really changing, moving the bar up, are they?
Well, I think so. This is a new design for OneDrive. This is the cloud storage service. And they say that consumers are going to have this by the end of this month, by the end of February. Here's what the Microsoft product manager said. It's both a visual and functional upgrade designed to help you get your files quickly and keep your content organized in multiple ways. Now, while I use Well, I really don't use OneDrive extensively to its full capability. Certainly, maybe this will change my mind. So I'm going to take a look at it when the update comes through.
Ray, do you know if it'll be automatic, or are people going to have to do something, or will it just appear?
From what I've read, it'll be automatic. It is
Automatic.
going to be It's going to be in one of the update packages.
All right. Weather radar for Android Auto.
All right, so now that I have a newer phone and Android Auto has gotten better and better, I've started to use it more and more. And for many of the features, particularly for navigation and my music choices, they're actually more usable than the infotainment system that was built into my Ford Edge. Now, there's a new app coming out on Android Auto called Weather and Radar. And the best feature is these displays tell you not only cloud cover and precipitation type and intensity, but they update as you're driving along. So it's constantly being updated where you basically are. So, and then rumor is Apple CarPlay will soon have this ability too.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, I'm just going to flip over to this is, I think, Ray, this is yours.
Yeah, now this is a new sports channel is going to be available to challenge the cable TV providers. To me, one of the main reasons many Americans, including me, are reluctant to give up their cable subscription is because of all the sports programming that cable provides that is often not available when you stream. Well, that may change. So Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers are all teaming up to launch later this year an all-in-one sports streaming service. And if you combine that with a digital antenna for local programming, the article says this could be what speeds up the demise of cable TV. So time will tell.
So as we were talking about earlier before the show started, what is going to happen on Sunday when all these fewer people have cable TV, all the streaming services for the Super Bowl, and they all want 4K? Is there going to be any bandwidth left for anybody else that wants to do banking or check their email? How are we going to have enough bandwidth to stream all this stuff? Be interesting.
More importantly, with streaming, if they can't stream at the right level, it's going to be a deterioration in the picture quality.
Right. And people aren't going to go for that. Like if this doesn't turn out, and I think this is a big test on this because I don't think we've ever seen so many people using streaming services, and they're all going to be streaming at this particular time. It's all going to happen in a very fixed time zone. So it'll be interesting to see how all this works out. All right. And then of course, Ray, AI
Well, this is for Galaxy. They said Galaxy has announced that there's going to be AI features coming, and here's the operative word: coming to older Samsung phones. So older. So that was the word that got me interested in this article, and I wondered how far they're going to go back to consider it an older phone. Well, it turns out they're talking about the S23 series, which was only released 12 months ago. So I don't know. That's what they consider old. That to me, that's not old. But the good news for Carol and I, she has the S23 Ultra, and of course I have the Flip 5. And if this prediction is true, we'll be getting in the first half of 2024 new AI features on our phones that include the ability. The one I like the best is the what do they call it? On live translation. So you could be talking to somebody on the phone who's speaking Japanese, and as they're speaking, it's immediately translated to English. I could speak it to be translated back to Japanese. This is just one of the new AI features. There's several more that regular phones cannot do. So I'm really looking forward to this happening with Samsung phones.
Excellent. Actually, you can roll that. Huey, I think this is yours, isn't it?
Yep. Newegg, who's one of the major electronics dealers or sellers, is adding a whole new area for refurbished electronics. And I look to see the new iPhone or iPad, I should say, the iPad that I just purchased. was about $100 cheaper.
Okay, excellent. And then of course, oh yeah, I saw this. Joe Grogan.
Yeah, 250 million from Spotify. Ron, I think we'd be willing to take 5 million to make sure. Or
I
6
think we'd
million.
do a lot less
So
than that.
so
That's
our,
right.
well, no, we don't want to do less than that because we want to make sure all of the staff gets $1 million.
Yeah,
So,
that's a yeah. I sort of thought, when I saw that article, I was thinking the same thing, Huey. Amazing how great minds think alike, eh?
Is that why he has the big smile on his face?
He is.
I would about 250 smiles on his face.
I thought, wow. I've never. Has anyone listened to his show? Do you guys listen? No,
I have not ever heard it.
Never heard it. Yeah. Huh.
I don't have Spotify.
All right.
He's on several others too.
Yeah. Bob.
Navigating the 2024 cybersecurity landscape. We are in 2024. Time to pay attention, folks. The bad guys are getting smarter. We have AI, and so do they.
So just if you're listening to this, these are videos. If you click the link there, it will play the video, but Bob's created for you. So it's right into the show. All right. And
The picture. The picture itself is a link.
Right. Blue Sky. Huey.
Yes, Blue Sky is Meta's answer to Twitter, and they've been in beta for quite a long time, and just this week they've made it so you don't have to have an invite; you can just sign up for it. I signed up for it, but I don't know anybody that's on it, so I can't even test it and try it. So if anybody's using Blue Sky, let me know so we can follow each other.
I've never even heard of this, Huey. What is Blue Sky? Go back just one more time on this.
It's like Twitter. It's the answer to replace Twitter since Elon Musk bought it. Different companies have been trying to find a replacement for people to go to, and this is Meta's.
Okay.
Which is Facebook's people.
They need to do a bit better on their publicity.
Yeah.
I think
and so I signed up for it, but I don't really have anybody to follow. There's a couple of things I follow, but I'm not getting much.
Anything wrong with X?
No, in fact, X to me, there's still, I forgot how many hundreds of millions of people still on it. Just some of the big blowhards that want to control everything are gone. And it's probably just as well, because otherwise you'd have 100 different copies of the same posts. But so I'm on X and have been since it was Twitter, before when it was Twitter.
This is for those who just don't like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them, they're looking for a place to, go ahead, enjoy yourself on Blue Sky.
I also want to make sure that I got in early enough to get the name I wanted. So.
Apple. So Vail, of course, is our Apple guru. That's he's not on the show today, but he's listening. Apple releases an AI model that can edit images based on text-based commands. So Vail always is up on all the latest Apple tech. I wonder if Vail's used this. Did you see that article? Have you seen? Did you? But no. You don't have it. You got an iPhone, but I don't think it's the.
I got an iPad.
You got an iPad. Yeah. Anyway, it's obviously Apple is starting to release a lot of AI as everybody else. So this was interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. I have not seen that.
Right. And if you could just scroll down to the next one, because I can't see that. What? Can you just tell me? It's pretty small. What is that?
Apple's reportedly developing a folding iPhone that flips open and shut.
The foldable phone, yes. So you'd think Apple, a big producer of cell phones, you'd think that they'd have a flip phone, but I guess they are indeed, and they're getting very close to having one for a big release, which will be interesting. And the next one I can't.
Google launches AI chatbot Gemini in Canada after
All
a
right.
long delay.
Right. So Gemini now is available for our Canadian viewers. Is now available in Canada.
Yeah, they're changing the name of Bard. They're changing the name of Bard to Gemini.
Is it Gemini or Gemini?
Yes, it is.
Gemini. Yep.
But depends upon whose broadcast you watch.
Yeah, I really like Gemini better than Bard. I really don't like Bard. I thought
Bard sounds too much like barf.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm really glad they're going to do that.
This one will catch on. Bard really hasn't, and sometimes Bard is pretty darn good in what produces.
So, we would be really remiss if we didn't talk about the Apple Vision Pro that was just released this last week. I mean, every second article on news services over this past week has been about the Apple Vision Pro. I guess it's of course expensive, but it has had immense popularity. They've been sold out in a lot of locations, and it is around $3,500 plus. But it is very interesting technology, and I think we're going to be talking a lot about it in the future. And this and YouTube is reportedly going to have an Apple Vision Pro app that will run on it as well. So
I'm wondering if any of our viewers have purchased one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I bet you Vale got one. I bet you Vale did. Let's see. Speaking of Vale, comments. Any comments before we get into
let's see. I think we did that one, didn't we?
Yeah. Now, why am I not seeing? Man, that's small. I can't. Can you read it for me? Oh,
sure.
Can you read it for me?
Yeah. Brian says interesting timing on TVs. I just bought a Hisense TV 7K series.
Yeah, we saw that. We read that one.
Yeah. Okay, we did do that. Okay, and then he said decent pricing, i.e., cheap, great value for the dollar, and that's it.
And that's it. Okay, we're all caught up. Okay, all right. Let's come down here. Let's see. Who am I? We're using. Okay.
It was a Ron Brown.
It was. This was a very interesting article. It was how much does YouTube Premium cost around the world? Now, you would think that it's all the same price, but it isn't. And it was interesting. I think it was in the United Arab Emirates. I think it was one of the most expensive places for YouTube Premium. So YouTube Premium is not a fixed amount that is the same in every country. It's all different. And I got to go into it because you can, and it's got the graphs and it shows exactly what it costs in all the different countries. But I just thought it was interesting that it isn't all the same, depending, it's different in what country you're in. I just thought that was interesting. Blue Sky, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about Blue Sky.
We got the WinSig meeting coming on later in February. We talked about that. It's going to be on the 18th.
Yeah. And then Bob, deep fakes gone deep. Can you believe what you see online?
Watch the video.
Yes, and I'm sure Taylor Swift had a lot to say about that this week. Let's come down here. And here's the article, 7 key things you must check before buying a new TV.
I really don't like when they use words like must or best. It's just one person's opinion.
Yeah. Bob, safer internet navigating the digital world with care.
Again, it's a video.
Another article. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I can't see the next one down, Huey.
Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, and as we said, the Apple Vision Pro, their initial pre-sale was 200,000 units, which is $700 million worth of product before it was even ready to send.
Yeah. Vale said, not ordered yet, waiting for trial period to end. Need info on effects to old people balance. Yeah, that would certainly. I had a lot of trouble with that when I was using the my Meta one.
We talked about that.
The Outlook app,
first part,
we
yeah.
talked about the Outlook app.
This is yours, Ron.
Tesla, yeah. Well, we all think about, of course, Tesla is a large company, international company. The number of EV cars made are easily this particular company makes more EV cars than Tesla. And my daughter was telling me, it's interesting. I forget. I think there's 25 million people that live in Beijing. If you drive an electric car, you can drive in Beijing without any restrictions. If you drive a gas-powered car, you can only drive it twice a week in Beijing, or you're severely limited because of pollution control. So the Chinese are big into electric cars, and in fact, but because they don't come to North America and distributed here, these are sold around the world outside China. These are very big company. Which one is this? Let me just have a look and see if it talks about what company it is. And yeah, the article said Tesla has lost its range crown to a Chinese EV that you've never heard of, and it's called, what is the name of it?
I guess we'll still never hear of it.
Yeah. Crap. I mean, where the heck? I don't know.
I'll go to the next article while you're looking.
Yeah, you can look at that. But anyway, it's interesting. It was interesting. What's the? I can't see that. Huey, go ahead.
Finance worker pays out $25 million after video call with deepfake chief financial officer.
Right. Now, this was really interesting article. Can you imagine they got scammed? This was a big company. They were dealing with a takeover, and the one chief financial officer was talking to another, and it was and they got scammed out. But you bought a company, but you bought it from a scammer. Bob, how does that happen?
Well, deep fake. We talked about that often.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. Verify.
I thought
The two words are due diligence.
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
People still assume, and you can't assume anything anymore.
You know what happens when you assume.
We just had a friend of mine, his daughter, whose daughter's probably in her early 30s now, is wanted to set up an online a website with an online store through Shopify, and she didn't really know how to do that. She's got a lot of crafts she wanted to sell online, and she found a very nice man from Nigeria that was going to set it all up for her. And she sent him all her bank account information and information to set it up, and he would monitor it and look after it for her. And she said he was such a nice guy. And this really, and I thought, how could a young person, fall for such a terrible situation? Like all the things we talk about every Monday, you would think that people would get it, but then when this guy is buying a company and spending $25 million, he got scammed. So it's quite amazing, eh? Quite amazing.
The next one, Ron, was yours. It's Samsung's entry-level Galaxy Z Fold 6 shows up alongside high-end model.
Ray, did you see this one? Have you seen this?
No. Well, that's the foldable phone. I'm more interested. I like the flip, but
yeah.
That's interesting that they're going to have two foldable phones. Wow.
Yeah. And this is the entry level, so it's going to be, the cost is going to be way down and a lot more affordable. So I thought it was an interesting article.
Yeah, the main one is like $1,800. So
yeah. I don't know if they've set the price on this one yet, but it was interesting. Apple, this was an interesting one. Apple is forcing users who forgot their password to take their $3,500 Vision Pro to reset it in the store. And I guess the issue is going to be, I guess these are so expensive now that you don't want stolen ones and people trying to So they're going to be really hard about resetting your password if you don't have it set properly.
And if you don't live near a store, what happens?
You have to send it in.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to drive to somewhere where they do have a store. This was an article just to remind everyone that Pixel, if you do have a Pixel phone, the February update is out, and Bob and I did our updates yesterday, and so that's it's updated. So your February updates are out. I can't see. I can't see that one. What was
Apple's Vision Pro virtual reality headset launches in the U.S. So we've been talking a lot about that.
We've been talking about a lot about that.
There's another one on that.
Yeah, I put a bunch of these. It's really the talk of the town, and then a bunch of articles about that. Verizon. Oh, this is great. Do you guys know about this? Verizon's 5G home internet now comes with a $200 Target gift card and a 3-year price lock guarantee. So I thought, well, that's a pretty darn good deal. So anyway, that's again, as we've said, really the getting your internet service and your television service now through your 5G home service is really, you gotta look at these because the prices are really $200 Target gift card with a 3-year price lock guarantee.
I just changed my carrier from Verizon to T-Mobile for a couple of reasons, but the main one was Verizon does not have 5G where I live.
Right.
They're still doing 4G LTE. So as nice as this is, it's obviously not available for everybody.
Right. Interesting. And guess what, Huey? This is our 200th episode. If you want to watch and listen to the episode, just click here and it is available for you. Bob, Google Bard could be renamed to Gemini in a couple of days. So is Bard gone now? Is it
No, Bard is still there until it actually officially gets renamed. But Bard is going to wind up to be named Gemini.
Right. So it is going to be gone. Like we won't have two. They'll just be Gemini, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. So confusing, man. Oh man.
What gets more confusing is they'll have the Pro version, and if you're already paying for Copilot, do you also want to pay for Gemini? It gets pretty darn expensive.
So, Bob, Copilot, Gemini, any thoughts between the two? Do you use both, or what's your thoughts?
I use both Copilot and Bard, and Bard is going to be Gemini, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm using both. And there are times I intermix the two because there are good things in one and there are nice things in the other. And between the two of them, it makes a much more interesting thing than just using one of them. But if you're using the Pro version, and there are good reasons for using the Pro version of Copilot, because you get faster access, faster creation, less limitation, greater image creation. And if you watch some of the videos I just created, lots of them have images in them created with the image creation, text-to-image creation in Copilot. And they now can do that in landscape format, which is great when you're doing a video because then it takes up the whole screen, not just part of it. But you're also going to have that in Gemini. So that means now shelling out $40 a month? I don't think so.
and then get the Chat GPT Pro at another $20. So now you're up to $60 for it.
Huey, you do a lot of AI. Any thoughts between Gemini and
I just use the free versions of all of them. But
any thoughts, any likes or dislikes or any
I try different ones to do different things. Same thing. I use Perplexity and Claude for the most part,
right.
More than the others. So there's some really good ones out there. And sometimes I'll try one, and well, let me see what the other gives me, and it'll give me a better rendition of what I'm looking for. So,
Right. Ray, any thoughts?
I typically go with the Edge browser. That's my favorite browser, and I love the fact that you got the little Copilot icon right there. For me, that's the easiest to get to, so I just use that almost all the time.
Okay.
Remember, Copilot does use ChatGPT 4.
Right. Right. Samsung will remove Google Assistant from the existing TVs. So Samsung TV will be getting rid of that. Google Search is losing its cached web page feature. Is that a big deal? Huey, you posted that?
let me look at it here. Google Search
Google
is losing.
Search is losing its cached web feature. I don't use that.
It's one of Google Search's oldest and best known features is a cache link, and they're doing away with it. It's where they remember things that you've already looked up, and some of that's going to go away.
Okay.
Wishing hour is
Not
right.
an Edge.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, it is time. Lots of good articles today, and it's a great show. I want to thank everyone for coming. We do appreciate you coming and listening to us. It's always a lot of fun. We will, of course, be ready for our Monday show. Come over if you are new people that were on the show today. If you haven't come and visited us on Monday, please do so. We can certainly this is our website, and that'll give you all the information for the Zoom meeting. But we also broadcast that out to YouTube as well, to our YouTube channel. So if you don't want to come into the Zoom meeting, you can certainly see our Monday show live on Zoom, or not on YouTube. So otherwise, we will be back the same time, same place next week. And so we hopefully will see you there. There'll be lots more news of the week. We never run out of news to talk about. So thanks so much. We really want to thank you for coming and listening, and have a great week. And until we see you again, bye now.
Bye-bye.